Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our session on the comprehensive overview of math achievement assessment. Today, we'll dive into understanding the purpose behind these assessments, explore the methods used, review the key results, and discuss how these insights can directly impact instructional strategies to enhance student learning. I'm excited to share this valuable information with you as we work together to improve math education outcomes. Math achievement assessment is essentially a structured way to evaluate how well students understand and can apply mathematical concepts and skills at various grade levels. Its main purpose is to measure not just knowledge, but also important abilities like reasoning, problem solving, and computational skills. This comprehensive approach gives educators valuable insights into how each student, as well as the group overall, is performing. The data gathered from these assessments then plays a critical role in guiding instructional decisions, adjusting curricula, and identifying where additional student support might be necessary. This ensures that teaching strategies are responsive to students' actual needs and helps promote better learning outcomes. When we talk about the purpose and importance of assessment, especially in math achievement, there are several key points to consider. First, assessments help us track student growth over time, so we can see how each student is progressing and developing their skills. This ongoing tracking is crucial for understanding their learning journey. Second, assessment allows us to identify specific learning gaps and areas where students may be struggling. This early identification means we can intervene promptly, providing the support students need before gaps widen. Third, the results from assessments guide how we design our curriculum and choose instructional strategies, making sure they truly meet the learner's needs. Fourth, assessment data plays a vital role in informing policy decisions and how resources are allocated within schools and educational systems, ensuring that support is targeted where it's most needed. Finally, these assessments help to ensure that teaching aligns with established learning objectives and standards, keeping instruction focused and consistent with educational goals. All of these points highlight why assessments are not just about measuring performance, but are essential tools for improving education overall. When we talk about types of math assessments, there are three main categories to consider. First, formative assessments are ongoing and informal. These include things like quizzes and classwork that happen during instruction, and they provide immediate feedback to both students and teachers. This allows teachers to adjust their teaching strategies in real time to better support student learning. Next, we have summative assessments. These are more formal evaluations conducted at the end of a unit or grading period, such as chapter tests or final exams. They measure the cumulative knowledge a student has gained over a specific time frame. Finally, standardized testing refers to assessments that are administered uniformly across different districts, states, or even nationally. These tests help benchmark student performance against broader standards and compare progress among peers on a larger scale. Each of these types plays a crucial role in understanding and supporting student achievement in math. On this slide, we dive into the assessment criteria and key metrics that help us understand test results more clearly. First, we have raw scores, which simply show the number of correct answers a student has given. While these scores are straightforward, they don't always tell the full story. That's where scaled scores come in. They adjust for different versions of the test, making it possible to compare results fairly across various administrations. Next, proficiency benchmarks categorize performance into levels like basic, proficient, and advanced. These benchmarks help us see not just how many questions were answered correctly, but also the quality of understanding demonstrated. To get even more insight, key metrics such as percent correct, growth percentiles, and error analysis patterns are used. These metrics highlight not only how well students are doing, but also where they might be struggling. Ultimately, all these measures serve an important purpose. They provide clear standards to determine whether a student has mastered the material and help identify specific areas where additional support is needed. This comprehensive approach allows educators to make informed decisions that enhance learning outcomes. Looking at the assessment results, we see that about 60% of students are performing at a proficient level or higher, which means they have a solid grasp of the material. Meanwhile, 25% of students are at the basic level, showing they have some understanding but still need improvement to reach proficiency. Finally, 15% of students are below basic proficiency, which is a clear signal that these students require immediate support to help them catch up. These numbers help us identify where to focus our efforts to improve overall learning outcomes. When interpreting the results, it's important to look for patterns in strengths and weaknesses. For example, a student might perform very well in computation, but struggle with problem solving or reasoning tasks. Identifying these differences helps us understand where support is needed. Next, by paying attention to consistent errors in specific concepts, we can pinpoint targeted gaps in knowledge. These targeted gaps are critical because they guide us in focusing instruction more effectively. At a broader level, analyzing data across groups can reveal achievement disparities among different student populations, which is essential for promoting equity. Ultimately, thoughtful interpretation of these results allows us to make well-informed instructional adjustments and develop personalized learning plans that address individual needs. When we look at the impact on instruction, the first thing to note is how assessment outcomes directly influence teaching. Teachers use the results to identify areas where students are struggling and then adjust their lesson plans to target those specific weaknesses. This means instruction becomes much more focused and effective. Next, instructional strategies often shift in response. Teachers might use differentiated learning approaches, providing tailored support for different students. They can incorporate scaffolding techniques or introduce enriched challenges for students who are ready to move ahead. This flexibility helps meet diverse learning needs within the classroom. Additionally, schools play a crucial role by allocating resources where they are most needed. This might include setting up tutoring programs or providing technology tools to help support students who need extra help. Altogether, these adjustments create a dynamic teaching environment where instruction evolves in real time based on student performance, ultimately leading to better math outcomes for all learners. As we conclude, it's important to recognize the critical role that math assessments play in supporting student learning and improving educational quality. These assessments give us valuable insights that guide our teaching strategies. We've seen how using a variety of assessment types, establishing clear criteria, carefully interpreting data, and responding thoughtfully to results are all key elements in this process. To make the most of these insights, it's essential to regularly integrate assessment results into our instructional planning and focus professional development on data-driven teaching methods. Finally, collaboration is crucial, working together to address achievement gaps through targeted interventions, and continually monitoring and refining our assessment tools ensures they remain effective and relevant. This approach helps us create the best possible learning environment for our students.